Fine and there once was a podcast in the great internet of internets. It was called Fine and Dandy. Muy influential podcast. You have to remember, folks, where there's a podcast, there's a Fine and Dandy.
And now, dogs and cats everywhere, you listen up right now, because that's all I see, you freaking bitches ass, dude. We're back in the studio, and I'm a couple beers deep, as you can tell. But it's okay, because we're back in the studio with Doofles and Daniel.
Did you
The double D's,
did
if you will.
Just was that off the cuff, or did you think was that like in the back of your head this whole time?
The world may never know. Like, how many licks does it take to get to the center of a Tootsie Pop?
Yeah, you're not. None of that made sense.
Somebody got it.
I hope you're all happy. You're tuned in. You're now tuned in to Fine and Dandy. Let's go. This is what you get. This is the cat's out of the bag as well as the dogs.
Never know.
Cats and dogs are out the bag.
The world may never know. That owl was a hoe for eating that little kid's lollipop, bro.
Dude,
Fucking owls, bro.
you just ate the whole thing.
Don't trust owls, bro.
Never knew how many licks. But you're here. Thank you. Doofles, Josh, you're here listening to Fine and Danny. We're tuned in for another week. I want to thank everybody who does listen consistently. Y'all are the fucking best. No matter how many people it is, we're going to continue to do it. And especially if we're annoying you, that's even more fuel to the fire to keep it going.
Yeah, fuck you, dude.
Yeah. Nah, but thank you for real.
Yeah, nah.
You know. But also to everyone out there going through it or struggling, I wanted to say, just keep pushing along. We're all trying to make it out here. We're all getting shit together.
Cheers, brother.
Little by little, and keep doing it. Keep pushing forward.
Keep being you.
Yeah. Do things that make you happy too. I want to say that. Do more things that make you happy. Don't do things because you think that they're gonna make you happy. Do things
because
they bring you joy.
they bring joy.
You
That's
know,
a good way of
I was
putting it.
recently
like
thinking
that.
of,
I was gonna make a joke, but that's a good way of putting it. Hell yeah, dude.
I was recently thinking of taking a magic class. Not like maybe learn card tricks and
Okay.
Balloon animals.
I mean,
How to do balloons
instead
things.
of spending your money, I'd say maybe go
YouTube.
to YouTube actions first.
But see, what I wanted to do though is take a class.
You take a class to test your skills.
Yeah, with the
to sharpen your skills.
Yeah, I'm a what are they called? That make the soap.
Fucking blacksmith.
Yeah, I'm gonna be a blacksmith of magic, so I'm sharpening
Is
my
that right?
skills.
Is that?
It is a
that's-
blacksmith,
okay,
yeah.
Cool.
I'd be a blacksmith of magic. I'll be an alchemist. I'll be transforming myself
Alright,
into.
stop.
No, but it'd be cool because honestly, I'd learn how to make the balloons, and I would just, you know me, I would do it in the most inopportune times. You know,
absolutely.
someone's talking business. Wait, is this your card? But then, or I'm pumping a balloon. I'm just tying up,
Doing a eulogy.
pumping up the balloon. I was saying
He's
it
a
might,
great man.
might help my tips go up too. You know.
Hey man.
Hey, pump.
What do they say about having different modes of income?
Exactly. I'm at a table and I'm greeting them. Welcome to Whiskey Cake, Farm to Fork Garden to Glass, and I'm pumping up a fucking crown or a sword. I give a little kid a sword, balloon sword. Parents gonna love me.
It's like you guys are lucky to have me tonight. Well, actually, I don't believe in luck. I believe in magic. And you just pull a fucking colorful rope out of your fucking sleeve. Here's some napkins for you guys.
Dude, do you think that would... So at that point, I would love it. I don't know how much the guests would or the managers would, but it would bring me joy.
There's like a little lemon juice on your salad.
Yeah, so do more things that you find that you enjoy. It doesn't matter what it is, just little things, taking that walk outside, going to the beach.
Putting on like a red nose and being a clown for a day and just saying honk honk around the streets while you squeeze your nose.
Yeah, exactly.
Boom.
It could be anything.
Activity.
Maybe jumping jacks. I
Do
don't
that
know.
activity.
Any of the above. Playing cards, Like Yu-Gi-Oh. If you love Yu-Gi-Oh, go out there.
Dude, you gotta catch them all, am I right?
I know a professional Yu-Gi-Oh player.
I'm sorry?
You also do know a
I
professional.
do?
You know a professional Yu-Gi-Oh player.
Who do I know that's a professional?
Tamez.
Tamez is a professional Yu-Gi-Oh.
You know that? He's ranked
There's rankings.
in the state.
I'm sorry?
Yeah, they have competitions.
Like still?
Yeah, he still does them.
Oh, wow.
Not only is he a manager of a restaurant, he also manages.
A man of many hats.
Yeah. Again.
Hell yeah, dude.
Yeah,
I did not know
he's
that.
ranked. I mean, he
Definitely
placed.
did
He
not
was
know.
number one Yu-Gi-Oh player at one point.
That's fire. I used to fuck with Yu-Gi-Oh when I was a
State.
kid. I used to have Yu-Gi-Oh cards. I had the little fucking like deck thing.
Yeah, well, you know what? That's
That was a little-
childish games.
Yeah, bro.
These are real adult things.
Yeah, I'm sure they have those too.
He also officiates tournaments from time to time too.
It's a nice gig.
Yeah. Do things you love. You know, you're never too old.
It's true. Why
You're
not?
never too old. Just enjoy them.
I've been thinking about refereeing like kids basketball games. I feel like it'd be fun.
Dude, that would be fun. You should do it. Why not?
Why not?
Call them, you know what I mean? Piss some parents off. Call it a day.
Dude,
For no reason. Hey, Timmy! Hey! Hey!
I used to hate
Hey.
girls whenever I was a kid and played basketball. She used to be fun fucking with them. Some of them were cool. Some of them were assholes.
Yeah, because you're kids. I mean, some of them, fuck these kids, I'm here for a paycheck.
Yeah,
Some of them
I
probably
mean-
were like, some of them were just there to fuck with the kids and get paid.
Block him was like foul on him.
Why not? There's so many things out there you don't think about. You're just, I could just be doing this for fun and just also probably still getting paid for it, because why not?
Yeah, I feel like
Maybe a little bit of money, but who cares? Yeah. But yeah,
dude, hell yeah.
I just want to put that out there. Everybody, try to enjoy your day. Do a little bit just do a little bit of more.
Living.
Just do more.
Just do more living.
Do
more
more
life. You take a note out of Drake's book and just have more life. Just have it.
Exactly.
Just grab it.
Like, what if you were to die tomorrow? You know?
That'd be tragic.
Yeah, don't do that.
Tough and dark and stuff. But hey, you know, you wouldn't be here no more, so it wouldn't matter.
Yeah. Yeah, don't die.
Yeah, don't die, bro.
Don't do that. But
We're good on the dying shit.
you know, material things can only get you so far. The experiences and the people are what really gonna bring you joy. You know? So do those things. Do more, please. All right.
Drink more water.
But thank you. Thank you once again. We'll dive in here. Thank you for tuning in to Fine Dandy. It's been great. It's been a wild ride. It's been fun. We're about to hit episode 85. It means 15 more until 100. Want to do something special for you for the 100th episode. I don't know yet what we're going to do. I don't know what we have planned yet. But
We're gonna have 100 guests on.
what is it? Rick and Morty, 100 years.
100 years.
100 years.
Oh yeah, we'll put like
Cash on
some
my
type of edit in that bitch. For the
Yeah, we'll have to
100th
do.
episode
Yeah,
or
we'll have to
some
do
shit.
something
That'd be
fun.
fire.
Something funny. We might get just a band of hooligans in here. We could have like 6 or 7 people all just share one mic.
We'll have a hologram of Benjamin Franklin as our guest.
No, let's do like a 3-hour episode.
Yeah, we can do 3 hours.
Let's do just different segments. We can do the one chip challenge
Uh,
or the hot ones challenge. I said we'll have segments.
I'm down for the hot ones challenge. I'm definitely not down for the one chip challenge. I just like chicken wings. So I mean, if I'm gonna do spice, I'd rather not. I'd rather have a meal out of it.
I think the payout would be great. It's like $100, $120 for all the sauces.
Yeah, we could split that.
Yeah, it's not bad.
Have a guest on, do it 3 ways.
Yeah, it really wouldn't be that bad anyways. Because I mean, you could buy just like the naked chicken wings and stuff
Yeah,
like that,
yeah,
and
yeah.
you just toss them.
Toss them real quick.
That'd be fun though.
We have like a bowl that we could toss.
Ask
in
each
and
other
pick it up, bro.
questions about our personal lives while we're eating hot wings.
Oh yeah, bro. We could prepare some shit.
And then we'll do the one chip
Oh,
challenge
am I
right
not getting
afterwards.
picked up right now, bro? Yo, what the fuck? Can you hear me now? All right, what the fuck, dude? That's some bullshit. I was talking straight into this hoe.
Did it just stop getting picked up?
I don't know. You keep talking. I'm gonna stop it and listen to it real quick, and then.
All right, mid podcast technical difficulties. We're
I'm
about
just
to figure
gonna
this
check
out.
it. I'll be able to tell real quick whether it got most of that.
Yeah, all right, we're gonna
So
continue.
you keep talking.
100th episode coming up. We're looking forward. If y'all have any ideas, y'all want to shoot anything towards us, anything you think that would be a good idea. I mean, it won't be till the end of the year when that 100th episode will probably be released. But it doesn't hurt to get a head start. So if y'all have anything for us, any suggestions, any ideas, we'll take all of them. Anything crazy, anything silly, anything off the wall. open to it all. I kind of want to just do like a whole thing to where we might even do it live. Honestly, even a live segment would be pretty sick. We might, do the Hot Ones Challenge on Facebook Live, on Instagram Live. We might get it all set up to where we're doing the One Chip Challenge, we're doing the Hot Ones Challenge. Honestly, we could do Edward 40 Hands while we're doing it. Make like a whole day of just shenanigans to where we're definitely podcasting, but it's more of just an experience. Y'all will be there with us, and it'll be a fun time. That's kind of more so what I'm looking forward to, especially since we've been doing this for honestly, 85 episodes for 3 years is not great, but we could have been doing more. But I picked up most of it, I think.
Some of it.
But yeah, we've been doing.
To find out where it stopped.
Yeah, we've been doing this for 3 years now, and we've been steadily getting better at it, and we've been putting in the work, and we kind of want to show all that for that 100th episode. So please like, comment, subscribe, give us some ideas, let us know. Yeah, we've been I've been rambling on for a little bit here.
Yeah, I'm almost done.
Yeah, you almost done there?
I only missed like a minute.
All right, sweet.
About a minute, so we'll fill that in.
All right, well we gotta figure it out.
Yeah, I'm back. I'm back. All right, my bad, guys. Essentially my mic cut out for like a minute. Oh, am I on monitoring mode? Let me mute that. That'll work.
There we go. Great job.
I'm in the building. Yeah, you know how it is. Technical difficulties on back-to-back episodes. We always do this. We do it every time.
The most unprofessional professional podcast. Honestly, that's the new intro.
That's the new name.
I think that's the new intro we should do. Welcome back to Fine and Dandy. The most unprofessional professional podcast.
Is unprofessionals a word? Like, can you use that? Like, if two people were unprofessional, if they were, what's the plural for talking about both of them?
Unprofessional.
The unprofessionionals, right? Is that a word? That's a word, right? I'm going with that. What are the unprofessionals?
We'll take it. I got complimented actually though, like a week ago. Someone told me, I like y'all's podcast because it doesn't seem like a production. They meant that in a good way though. Not that it's so shitty.
Yeah, I love how shitty your podcast is. That shit's horribly produced.
Because of the I'm used to seeing great production. Your shit is ass, but
so bad. Thank you.
No, but they meant most podcasts are commercialized.
Yeah.
Ours doesn't seem commercialized, but also because we don't have enough followers to be commercialized. And with that being said, we're gonna go to our next advertisement. It's gonna be
fucking Ball Sacks Incorporated.
Balls to the Wall Incorporated. Thank you so much. They've been with us for so long. They've just loved everything we've done, and
bro. You just gotta put your balls on the wall, and then they'll be there, and that's the incorporation.
What kind of advertisements do you think we would get? Like
Some really bad ones, honestly. Like some fucking.
I hope so.
Probably some like Blue Chew fucking Viagra shit.
I want some like super shitty infomercial styled shit.
Oh, dude, if we could get like a laxative advertisement.
Oh, dude. All right.
Have you ever enjoyed a super smooth shit in the middle of your home? Well, try.
Have you been backed up for days? Laxing and taxing. What's that channel that used to show the infomercials?
The infomercial channel.
Yeah, no.
I don't fucking
It was
know.
the one that what's her face? That lady owned. QVC? QVC.
Sure. Oh, I know what you're talking about. Yeah.
How'd you not know?
I don't know.
It's QVC.
I didn't watch Shark Tank like that.
Yeah. So you knew a Shark Tank though.
Well, when she said that, the lady that owns QVC, I was like, isn't that one of the bitches from Shark Tank?
It was. Yeah. So yeah, if we can get like one of those deals.
She's a bitch. Sorry.
If we can get one of those ideas though, or one of those infomercials as one of the ads, I would love to just. Honestly, I'd go all out on. I know some people they hate the advertisements. Like,
nah, infomercials seem fun. Do you remember whenever Rob Dyrdek made an infomercial?
No.
No, it was like one of the episodes of Fantasy Factory or some shit. No. He made a fucking infomercial where him, Sterling, what was the girl's name, Chantel, and like one other people from like they were all in this infomercial. It was like a workout type of infomercial. I don't remember if it was like selling the towels or the workout equipment or what exactly it was, but they fucking like made a parody like of a infomercial. That shit was silly as fuck. This was like his name was like Bobby White or some shit.
I loved it. I was watching. We were literally at work. There was an infomercial channel on. And I swear, for 2 hours, it was the same infomercial. It was the same one.
The same one?
It was the same one.
Wait, like, was it repeating? Or was it just like
it was just continuous.
long ass, it was an info movie?
It was about basically at that point. It was about like a vacuum seal.
Okay.
It was a vacuum seal that did it in a way to where nothing would leak out, but it was so lightweight. It was like how it was.
So every other vacuum
It
seal.
was funny. It was no. It was lighter than all the other ones.
What's
Supposedly.
lighter?
I don't know what you know.
Wait, the actual machine? Or
Yeah, the
bags?
machine was more portable and light, and then the
Okay.
bags were too. But then nothing leaked out, and it was showing you, and it was just like using the most extreme examples you could possibly use, and everyone was looking at it thinking it was so stupid, and I loved every minute of it.
You're just astonished by like how much they were putting into this. Like, the
I love-
production value on an info movie's got to be crazy.
Dude, I love, an info movie would be so sick. An info movie would be so sick. It's just, they have actors, but the whole thing is a movie. It's like played out like a movie,
The
but
plot is just to sell the product.
But it's just an infomercial the whole time. They go on a date and they're just, and it's just going so
It's like,
bad. But then
I really want that new 2022 Ford Mustang, but the APR is so crazy right now.
it would be awful. You would hate it because you're getting sold something at every minute. But it would.
APR, it sounds like, what does your credit history look like, my friend?
The acting would be horrible, but that would make it even better. That would just be the
credit
best.
history. What's that? It's like, oh, you don't know what Credit Karma is? Oh, Credit Karma is this wildly, excessively efficient website that helps you and everyone in America understand exactly what their financial situation.
You just walk in. It just walks in. How sitcoms do, right? Walk through the door like clapping. Sits down. Like, someone's sad. It's like, what's wrong? I didn't get approved on. Oh.
I just talked to a credit repair company. They said it's looking bleak. I don't think I'm getting that 2022 Ford Mustang. I might be lucky to get a 2008 Toyota.
It's like,
I don't know which model yet. It's one of the not main ones though.
what'd you use to check your credit? Credit Karma, because it's free. It's free checks and doesn't hurt your credit. Shit. Oh my God.
Let's go.
That would be the best thing of all time. But all I'm saying is if we could get some ads, because people hate doing the ads when you watch podcasts, they treat it like it's the worst thing to do.
Right.
I would go over
I'd have
I
fun
would
with it.
sell that
I'd
shit.
have fun with it.
I would go over and beyond for the advertisements because when I watch that shit, it's so entertaining. I love stupid shit. Like, reality TV, I don't like it because it's definitely, staged. I love some of it. But, overall, I hate it. But things that are just so blatantly shit,
Yeah.
that's my alleyway. It's just...
because I'm trying to think of a good example. Obviously, like, The Room is an easy example, but, like, there's other things where it's, like...
Pod zombies.
The production value is horrible. The writing is worse.
Sharknado.
The delivery is almost worse than any of the three. But it just comes together for this beautiful project of just shittiness. But it's just like, you appreciate it because of how bad it is. Like, you have to think about, like, the person that released this.
I mean, it's just...
You have to think that this is someone's baby, and they worked their ass off on this, and they released it, and it's perfect, but not for the reason that they released it for.
That's also kind of why I enjoy Chopped, because it's kind of shitty too, because it just... I mean,
I'm
it's not
really a
shitty, it's
fan
really
of
good
Chopped.
production. It's just, like, when it zooms in on the faces,
Yeah.
like bro,
I'm not really
it
a
was
fan of
terrible.
I'm more a fan of, like,
The Gordon Ramsay show? What was
well,
it?
definitely
MasterChef?
MasterChef, but definitely that. But like as far as like the singularity competitions and shit like that, Chopped was cool. But I kind of like the baking ones. Like some of the baking ones
like
get
Cupcake
kind of
Wars and
crazy.
shit like
yeah,
that.
them
Yeah.
ones get kind of crazy.
They do. But that's my point. I mean, it's because it's basic cooking, but they definitely take it to another level. Drama, music
Right.
behind it, and you walk up and just, they're crying and shit.
Well, the thing that's fascinating about MasterChef for me is that
Talk to me. I need you to talk to me. What are we doing? Bro, what?
The thing that's fascinating about MasterChef for me is that like once a dish is made on there, like on national television type shit, or even international television type shit, like it's almost not impossible, but impractical for someone else to make the same dish on there. So now like 14, 15 seasons deep, you're talking about like there still being unique dishes to come out just shows like the level of creativity in the kitchen. You know what I mean? Like you'll still see like a steak and potatoes, but it's done differently. It has different elements and shit like that. It's cooked differently. It has a different preparation value.
Yeah.
So like all these different like unique values to a dish, like over 15 seasons with thousands of contestants at this point. Like
I love it though.
it's crazy that there's still unique dishes coming out.
On shows such as Master Chef, you'll be in the kitchen. The ingredients today are a boar's head, freshly picked pubes, and some grain mustard. Today you must give us one of the best dishes you've ever created.
I mean,
and then they get the worst ingredients, and then the chefs, this tastes like shit. Bro, I did the best I could in the 60 minutes.
Usually,
I had an hour.
like, they'll do something like, that's the thing though, is you
Get an
don't
hour.
have like a super like extensive pantry full of other shit. You just have to incorporate those items. So like you could only use like a couple of pubes and make it work. But you'd have to make them like a garnish of some sort.
Continental. Did you ever see Waiting?
Yeah.
Where he's like, the little guac goes in there. He's like, you can't mix Mexican with continental. Picks his fuse, like, some parsley. He's like, there you go. Oh, dude, that movie's great. But nah, I just love, like, that form of entertainment, like shit that plays into itself. I mean, I've always talked about that. Anything that plays into what it is absolutely the best form of media to me. Because this is stupid. Might as well, play into the fact that this is fucking stupid.
Right.
Who likes infomercials?
Yeah.
Nobody. That's why it's great. Like that one video I showed you where it was the cooking thing and it was just a salmon with veggies and everyone's just like, woo!
Right.
Clapping for like 5 minutes straight. Like,
See,
yeah!
and the fact that you just said that makes me like, the first thing that came to my mind was like, we've had conversations about like how like the Marvel shit that's coming out and like some of this like superhero stuff, it's like cheesy and it sucks and it's like not well produced, but it's also like, what'd you just say? It's like, if you're gonna make something for what it is, then why not make it for what it is? Like, in the same way that these shitty productions and comedies and things like that, they play into that, like Marvel's only playing into the audience that they're given type shit, and that basically all these people just want to see is stuff that their kids can watch and have like remembrances from the comics that they used to read, and Marvel's gonna play into that, right? You know what I mean? So at that point, it's like, does it have to be like the top-notch production just because it's making top-notch money?
It's a TV
That's
show.
the audience thing.
I think it's also, everyone's so used to, I mean, they don't remember back in the day, Marvel
Right.
movies weren't that great, and then they got this great production, they performed, then they had Endgame and all this stuff.
Well, see, that's what makes classic movies that were made like back in the day that much like detrimental to like cinema in itself.
I like some like older style filmed movies too, though. I think everyone just wants this CGI, great, super, good quality.
Not everyone though. That's the thing.
No, a
lot
lot
of people don't like it, and that's the thing is that like the people that don't like it, I feel like aren't understanding that the creators of this are just playing into what they're making, which is a film for a kid, and hopefully we can entertain that kid's parent whenever they're taking that kid to see this movie.
Look, a perfect example of playing into itself.
Right?
What?
Like in the way that the only markets they really have for these movies is children, and then they try to entertain the parents of the children that take them to the theater.
Yeah, most of them. No, a lot of Marvel heads are, older.
Well, no, yeah.
But now, you got
what Marvel's concerned with is like as far as their like merchandise,
and marketing,
toys, all their marketing and things like
kids.
that. It's just kids, and then they try to sprinkle in shit to keep the parents involved.
Because the parents are going to see the movies.
They have to be involved because they're going to be there at the theater.
Let's be real.
So you don't want them falling asleep. You want them to be involved so they can buy the toys, buy the blankets and shirts.
So let's
and
be
all
real.
the shit.
The parents aren't caring about that as much as the kids are.
Probably not.
Yeah. But no, what I was gonna say is a movie that plays into itself, especially probably after the seventh one that was made.
Oh, the Fast and Furious.
Fast and Furious. Yeah, Fast and the Furious 100. Dude, they went to space. I don't know how much more at this point. It was a car movie. Now I don't know. And it became an action thriller. They were robbing banks.
So
The Rock had a machine gun. I don't know.
Defying physics for family.
And then The Rock was an agent that turned rogue. I don't, it doesn't. None of it makes it's.
Jason Statham got involved. He's a badass.
Like why is there a whole when you took the transporter and got him involved in, for a Fast and Furious movie, it went off the rails a long time ago.
It's funny because like the transporter, I think the first transporter came out before the first Fast and Furious.
What was that other one? There was that other one. It was like Adrenaline or something.
Crank.
Yeah. That's
Crank was good. I liked Crank.
Oh, that was a good movie
Both
too.
of them.
Yeah,
the second was
fire.
good too.
But my point is, when you bring Jason Statham in for a racing movie, it's no longer. You lost it. It's a whole new
that
thing.
Fucking death race. Like literally, this guy is just a driving and action actor. I don't think I've ever seen him in a drama role once.
Jason Statham?
Yeah.
No, he knows his part.
He's not a rom-com guy.
No. He's
literally Transporter, Crank, fucking Expendables, and I guess Fast and Furious. Death Race dude.
You ever watch Liam Neeson?
Yeah.
What do you know him in other than fucking Taken?
That I'll only say I'm not aware of his early work. I'm not aware of anything he did whenever he was like coming up as an actor. I've only been aware of what he's done since Taken, maybe a couple movies before that, but nothing crazy. Like I don't know exactly what he became famous for.
Taken.
I don't think it was Taken. I think it was
I'll
probably
find
before
you.
that. He was already
And
kind of
I'll
old
kill
at that
you.
point, no?
Taken's like 2008, bro.
Yeah, I mean, this man is
He was
what,
still
in
young.
his
No.
60s?
Maybe.
You're talking about
But that
he
was
was
like
47 when he
there's a movie called Schindler's List.
There you
Schindler's
go.
List was probably that's a good movie. For
See,
sure.
I haven't seen that though.
He was in the A-Team. Yeah, see, he's the same. It's the
But
same
that
guy.
was after Taken though.
Yeah, but that's the same guy at that point. You know what I
Right.
mean? I will find you and I will kill you. It's the same guy. Because the
Let me
A-Team
see
was a
the-
lot of A-list actors too. A-list action actors, which is what the
Right.
Expendables was also. You know?
So yeah, so he was in Schindler's List. Oh yeah, he's Qui-Gon from Star Wars.
That he was. You're
so,
right. You're right.
Let me see what else he's got from back before like my time type shit. He was in Batman Begins. He was the Ra's al Ghul in the first Christian Bale Batman. That was before Taken as well.
Regardless, though, still.
He was in Love Actually.
I don't think I saw that.
You never saw Love Actually?
No.
I'm a rom-com guy. Love Actually is actually pretty good if you want to get sad. Let's see what else he's got.
I also love rom-coms. If we're talking rom-coms real quick, check out Comet.
He was
Great
in
one.
Narnia? I don't remember him in Narnia.
I want to say I kind of remember him. But Comet's
anyways.
a good one.
Wait, what is?
Comet for rom-com. 500 Days of Summer, I'm sure everyone's seen. It's
All-
real good. Not really a comedy, but the movie with Jim Carrey where he was losing his memory.
Eternal Sunshine of the
Spotless Mind. That's the one that'll make you cry. That's a good one.
My favorite rom-com of all time is probably The Adjustment Bureau. It's not so much a rom-com, it's a little bit more of like a mystery thriller, but with like some romance and comedy sprinkled in type shit.
It's a good movie too, yeah.
But I really like that movie. It's
I
one of
like
my
that one
favorite
too.
movies,
That's a really
actually.
good one too, yeah.
It's like a story of redemption and trying to follow your own path and not accept the one that's set before you.
Yeah, I love Comet and 500 Days of Summer because it's both sad.
Comet's such a good one. I actually still to this day I've never seen 500 Days of Summer. I read the book, but I've never seen the movie. So
Yeah, no, it's really good. I mean, it's the same as it's not the same
it's
concept.
a little bit different. I've heard. at
Yeah,
least,
but it's essentially the same. It's an out of order too. It's like that, that gives you the
Yeah.
out of order time stamp type of thing.
That's what's interesting about movies like that because like it's kind of difficult to execute that to be able to like really keep the viewer understanding the different time frames and like the path that you're going down with these different memories in time or pieces in time if it's the present. You know what I mean? That's actually a really difficult task to achieve in story writing. You know what I mean?
I love those movies especially though because it focuses the way that they do it focuses mostly on just how do I put this? Lost my train of thought for a second.
It focuses on like
No, so yeah, basically we're going out of order. The movie itself focuses mainly on just like that moment and being there in that moment with that person and like how that moment felt without it having to be a sequence thing. Because usually when you're following along in a storyline, and then you're having to get like this piece by piece thing, and you're following from the previous thing. It's kind of like what we talked about with Shelby, was in the sense of she doesn't like cartoons, but she likes movies or like animes, because animes how like the arcs are. You know, the arcs go. Your beer's okay, good. How the arcs in anime, you know, they build off of each other, you know, from the previous thing, and then there's the growth of the characters, which, you know, each story arc is great, but cartoons don't really have that. Cartoons are very episode by episode basis, but the characters still grow. And I kind of like that about that out of sequence thing, is you're seeing each character in a different setting, not based off the sequence before, but you're seeing the growth of the character regardless.
Right.
But it's more focused on that, like, the day-to-day life of what that character is and what that moment was.
And not to, like, completely draw back to what I was talking about, like, with the Marvel shit, but, like, personally, that's why I've seen, like, this She-Hulk show that's just, like, recently come out. It's pretty groundbreaking, like, as far as, like, if you, like, pay attention to the MCU whatsoever, if you actually give a fuck about it at all. As far as, like, the shows that have come out on Disney Plus, it's probably, like, so far one of my favorites because of the ability that they're, like, really playing into the character development from other shows. Like, they're taking things that were what's the word I'm looking at, cliffhangers from other shows, things that were unanswered questions that never really got answered, and like kind of formulating them back into this so that they can expand upon them in the future with these new movies and other shows that are about to come out and stuff like that. It's a really interesting process whenever you're starting to like kind of understand like where they're going with things and where they're coming from. It's kind of like the first episode of Rick and Morty season 6 that just came out. It's like how they're tying old knots that were kind of loose ends together back into the story so we can make use of this content that other people are like, oh shit, I remember that.
They did a good job of that.
Great job, episode, right? Yeah. So that's what I'm saying is like, so in episode 3 of She-Hulk, there was a great portion of it. Like I told you, like one of her powers in the comics was the ability to break the fourth wall. There was a great portion of the third episode where they had an A line and a B line story for the third episode. They haven't done it for every episode, but for the third episode specifically, they had an A story and a B story. And towards the end of the story, they reconnected the A story and B stories to like come back together, basically by having one lawyer, her, and the other lawyer, her coworker, at a bar, just talking about like their days type shit, which was the A story and the B story. But she broke the fourth wall right as like that scene started, saying, "Oh, connecting the A story to B story." I was like, "That's kind of tight, bro," because that like that's a storytelling tactic that not everybody knows about. But whenever you just address it like that, you're like, "Oh shit, yeah, that is true." Like, fuck, you're connecting both of the two stories that we just watched like get drawn out, and y'all are connecting on this now. And to address that to the audience was kind of dope for me.
I love fourth wall breaking, depending, you know, especially if it's skillfully.
Yeah. Like fucking Zach Morris' fourth wall breaking was epic.
Oh, dude, early times, dude. Zach Morris, honestly, to be fair, that shit was the fucking best, because he would always just be like bullshitting, like laughter.
What am I gonna do in this situation?
Dude, that honest, damn. For just a random ass Saved by the Bell sitcom ass style show, they really executed that shit.
See, that's what I'm saying.
That's why I was goated though.
There's certain portions of certain sitcoms or shows, movies even, like, or even really just art that like are it's kind of staple points that you can like connect to. You know what I mean? Like a lot of, for me, from my childhood, is a lot of Fresh Prince like connections. You know what I mean? Like whenever I feel like certain emotions, I'll think back to like a certain episode of Fresh Prince because I used to watch that shit literally every night before Nickelodeon sold their souls to George Lopez.
That's fair. Jesus. Dude, I watch Saved by the Bell every morning before school.
Yeah.
Wake up in the morning and you're long time. It was just all the fucking, oh dude, that intro.
That Rocket Power on the weekend.
Rocket Power was fucking sick too.
That's what I'm saying.
Nah, but hey, yeah, if anyone wants to throw some advertisements out there, dude, I'll fucking sell that shit. Stupid in the dumbest way possible. We'll get silly with it. What better, dude? Have you seen all the? Oh my god! Have you seen all the memes where it's I got too silly, or just where it's like me with the girl I got, with me with the bad bitch I got by being hilarious or by being goofy. Yeah. My story of my life. Just being super silly is definitely the story of my life. Anything, I think that's how I've accomplished anything in there. I'm not saying that's like my cornerstone of life, but I've accomplished a lot by just being
It's always
strictly
weird
silly.
to talk about yourself like that, you know what I mean? Like, to speak on things that you notice in yourself, because, like, it's also, like, sounds kind of like, I don't know why it sounds, like, cocky or whatever, but usually you're just addressing the thoughts that you have over yourself, you know what I mean? And other people take it as, like, whatever they want to take it as. But, like, recently, like, I've necessarily, like, noticed a lot of the reason I can be sociable with pretty much anybody is because I can find like a comedic situation or something to laugh about between pretty much anybody, you know what I mean? Even people that I do not agree with their standpoint and definitely wouldn't really want to hang out with on a normal basis. If I have to be next to you for a bus ride or a fucking conference call or whatever, like, I can make a joke and we can connect. Like, I have the ability to do that. A lot of people are like, I don't fuck with you, I'm not talking to you. What the fuck? Like, I'll be like, hey, what's up, dog? I love confrontation though, so that's a problem too.
Yeah, I'm kind of both. There's a lot of times where I don't really care to talk at this moment. But, you know, if I do get to know somebody, I'm just like from there, it's not really serious.
Right.
It's not going to be a serious. I mean, don't get me wrong, the only reason I say that is, like, being silly has got me to where I'm at. It's just, it's because, I mean, I take care of business.
It's not a weird thing to say, though.
No, it's just, I mean, I'm silly all the fucking time, and I take a joke. And some people might not like that, but the fact of the matter is...
Fuck them.
No, yeah, I mean, yes, for sure, but there's just so many people who take things seriously that don't apply, like, themselves in anything.
All I'll say on that is like, how many people that are taking care of their business and have all of their boxes checked on the things they need to be doing.
I want to be doing. That's where I'm at.
Actually, give a fuck about what you're doing. It's
Exactly.
usually an appreciation factor, not a damn what the fuck, or there's usually little hatred for people that are getting their shit done.
All right.
It's usually the only people that have hatred towards anything are people that have time to have hatred towards anything, and that usually means shit is not getting done.
Yeah, or people who are really doing things with their life. They don't have time to be worried about anything or anybody else.
Because how important is any of this shit that we're talking about? How important is any of the shit that we're hating on? Oh, your fucking Ferrari is a brighter red than mine? Like, what the fuck? Who cares about money and, like, luxury items and shit like that when it comes down to the nitty gritty? Are you eating? Are you gonna be alive tomorrow? Okay.
I mean, yeah. I had this conversation yesterday too. Is about just I work hard, right? I'm a hard worker towards things I care about, not because I care about money, because I care about experiences.
Right.
Because I want to be able to do things I want to do. But a lot of people work hard because they want things. They want to fill their house with things, and they want to fill their life with things. But at the end of the day, the person I was talking to was telling me how they know someone who does a similar thing, and then half the time they don't even use that thing or really use the things that they buy. And for me, it's just, I guess that's, where my priorities lie. Do I want to spend my money on this one thing, which I'll hesitate to, but then I'll go blow money on this other thing that's like really fun, And sometimes I am like, that's stupid, but that's what I enjoy spending my money on or doing.
Right.
And it's taking me time to realize it's not a bad thing, it's just my own personal preference.
Right, exactly.
Like some people all the time.
Hit me hard.
It goes back to what I was saying, some people they say they're busy all the time or they don't have any money, but they're also not working, or they're not trying, or they're not really doing anything. And the people who say that they're not making time for anything, so you're never gonna have time for the things you want if you're not making for the time. You gotta make sacrifices at some point.
Right.
You're never gonna have time for the things you want or the things you could be doing if you're not making any time for any of those other things.
And it's not a perfect analogy to what you're saying, but think about how many people are like, no, I'm not gonna buy a $130 Astros ticket. I'll buy a $30 Astros ticket and then buy 5 beers for $100 while I'm at the game.
I'll do that.
Why would you spend $100 for 5 beers?
Oh, that's okay. I didn't realize what you said. Yeah,
that's what I was saying. You're worried about better seats whenever you're spending the same amount of money, and you could easily get that fucked up in the car. What are we talking about here, my guy?
Nah, I'm gonna be honest though. I also wouldn't pay $130.
I wouldn't either. I'd pay $30 and get fucked up before I got there. That's what I'm saying here. I might buy 1 beer just to hold me over through the 3 or 4 innings.
In the sense is, yes, I would probably drink before I got there. I'd still buy the $30 ticket, and I'd still buy 2 beers there. But that 2 beers is still worth.
My point was that people have misconceptions over their spending. People are like, I won't do this, but I'll do this. I won't. I'm not gonna Uber tonight. I'll just drive, even though it means maybe driving drunk. Even though that Uber only costs $25 is probably your first 2 drinks. And if you're buying anyone else drinks, I'm sorry, sir, it's your first round. So like theoretically, when we're talking about like, all right, so you're not willing to get home safely tonight, but you are willing to have at least one more round.
Yeah.
That's what we're talking about here. It's like instead of having the worries of driving drunk, you're wanting that one more round when you could take a shot before you hop in the Uber and shotgun one right before as you're in the car. Like, I mean, it's probably frowned upon in the Uber driver's point of view, but
a 1-star.
You're getting a 1-star review. But hey, what I'm saying is there's ways around this, and people have these misconceptions over their spending. It's like, no, I'm not going to do that. It costs this much. It's like, well, I mean, you just spent $70 on pizza rolls last weekend, so let's just be real.
Hey, but where I'm at is I get that, but I'd probably still do some shit like that, personally. And if that's what I want to do.
I'm not judging it. What I'm saying is there's these misconceptions people have over their spending. Like,
Yeah.
I wouldn't do that for this. Like, you're saying I wouldn't pay $130 for a Astros ticket. Well, how much is the last festival ticket you bought?
Yeah, but that's also...
Exactly. You can make an excuse for it because it's something you want to do and it's something you actually want to spend your money on. What I'm saying is how many people buy those $400 Astros tickets? I'm talking about $100 Astros tickets. There's $4,000-$5,000 Astros tickets. You know what I mean?
Box seats and shit, yeah.
Floor seats for the Rockets. The Rockets are going to suck this year. They might win 10 games at home. Max. There's 41 home games. They might win 10 of those. How many people are going to be at all 41 of those home games paying courtside seats? Tons of people. Every game there's going to be the courtside, maybe not all the way filled up, but it's going to be pretty full of people that are spending thousands and thousands of dollars to be at a game where the team they're going to watch is going to absolutely lose that game, and they knew that before they walked in the arena.
I feel that. I
That's
guess
what I'm saying. There's misconceptions on spending.
I get what you're saying. I wasn't
Yeah.
really going down that line, but you're right. I was more so just saying in the sense of people basically being, always complaining about not having enough for this or that.
Right.
Which you are right. It does come from that misconception of where you do.
Where are you putting your money?
Yeah, I guess my point just more lies on if you are going to say all that stuff, it's you can say it, but it just comes to a point where you're saying all this, but you're also not. Yeah, putting your priorities in a correct place.
Right. Well, that's what it is. It's
Like
your priorities from what you say and your priorities from what you do are 2 different things. Because it's easy to say I want to go to the gym every morning, and that's a priority. I want to eat good every day. That's a priority. I want to make sure that my bills are paid. That's a priority. Now, what are you doing to make sure those things are happening?
Exactly. It comes to the point where I've heard it so much where people just, I don't really have money to do these, do that, or
Right.
I have to do this and have to do that, and they're just not really that happy. They're just like, this is a tough
End
time.
up doing nothing.
But I'm just, they're sad about their situation. And don't get me wrong, it's hard to get through a lot of things. I'm not downplaying
Absolutely.
people's situations, because I know for a lot of people that have been through a lot, it's tough to overcome a lot of those things. Some people need therapy, and I mean, if you do, that's something you should reach out and try to get, because it's definitely important, especially with the way mental health is now. But aside from that, you can't continue to just, I'm broke, I can't do this, I can't do that, I have school. I definitely kind of resent the whole work hard American ideal, where it's like, you gotta put your nose to the grindstone and fucking work to get what you want. But I'm also a proponent of, you do have to work to get to where you want to be. It's not just a hard at work type thing. It's with yourself, your mind, your body, your soul. Where do you want to be? Where do you see yourself? What do you like? Like I said, it goes back to what I said in the beginning too. Just doing more things that make you happy and you enjoy. But unfortunately, in the life that we live, those things take sacrifices.
Absolutely, and that's the thing. It's I'm not a proponent of that old pick yourself up by your bootstraps mentality, because of that would be true if everyone had the same starting place. The only reason I can't be a proponent of that is because it does not take into account that everyone has a different starting place.
Exactly.
Everyone has different cards that are given to them, and everyone has a different hand to play. And so theoretically, for you to say, we've had that conversation before. It's like for you to say you don't understand why somebody did something, you don't understand how somebody could be this horrible or be this great, or why you can't. It's like, no, you can fathom it. You're choosing not to because you think this is wrong, or because you think that you could never be that. You think this is something that could never be you. But theoretically, that is you, just with a different set of cards, just with a different hand to play, a different environment around them telling them how to play their hand. You are somebody who was lucky enough to have a good position in life, to have the ability to be a free thinker, have the ability to make your own decisions but theoretically, you have the ability to speak out on what you're speaking out on, right? It's like kind of the idea that like a lot of military people will be like, well, you guys are lucky to be able to kneel at the flag because we fought for your right to do that. Like in another country, if you kneel at the flag, you get your head cut off. It's like, yeah, but we are in America, right? You fought for that. Thank you. I appreciate that. Now, should I not be able to enact that, the thing that you fought for? Right? Like, if it's a freedom that you fought for, you're saying I'm disrespecting it by kneeling at the flag. No, I'm sorry. Freedom is a wholehearted thing. That's a across the board thing, right? If we're talking about freedom in itself, freedom of speech, freedom of action, freedom of what's the word? Organization, freedom of press, all these different things. You're talking about freedom across the board. So if you fought for my freedoms, you can't go back and tell me I can't use those freedoms. That's not how that works. Yeah. If you want it to be that how it works, then don't put you fighting for my freedoms in my face. That's how that works.
I think also, like, I know you kind of went on.
That's a tangent, but it was a comparable.
But yeah, just going back a little bit. There's a lot of people though that are in better positions. I'd say that have started off in better positions, that are currently in better positions than I am. That's still just, to me, it just blows my mind. Don't get me wrong, they'll probably end up fine because of the position they have, you know what I mean? They're lucky enough to be there. But it's still just so crazy to me, just realizing, like, how good people have it and they just complain. They complain about their circumstances and their situations. Don't get me wrong, I mean,
it's easy to.
It shouldn't be a thing where I'm saying, you know, just because you have it good doesn't mean you don't have your own problems. Everyone has their own problems and their own situations and their own things that they have to go through and struggle through, and that's crucial to their own personal development, and that's great. But where I am stating is just me personally, knowing what I've been through, and then also hanging out with a lot of other people who have also been through worse than I've been through. Just getting it every day, hustling, doing their thing, not complaining, really bright, like optimistic attitudes. I'm not saying everyone has to have that, but just seeing both sides of that, it's a weird thing to me that some of these people they have so much and they still complain about so much, and they don't make any effort to really do anything to, I don't want to say fix it, anything to really like shift what they're doing. And you know, they're just complacent, which is easy to do. It's easy to be like that. And it does give me an appreciation, especially recently, appreciation for the people who do work hard every day. Yeah. The people who are picking themselves up. Like I said, I hate the saying because it does set a really bad precedent for, because capitalism is a piece of shit. So that's the only thing.
The way it's been said is really shitty because the tonality behind it, the lack of understanding behind it. Just pick yourself up by your bootstraps. Just it's been dismissive. It's been said in a dismissive
especially
way.
Especially how the country's changed and how inflation.
It's necessary for people to pick themselves up by their bootstraps. Nobody's going to do it for you. Nobody's going to pick you up. You got to pick yourself up. Now, that's not to dismiss the place that you're coming from and the things that you have to go through to be able to do that. That's the thing. Is it's like every time you hear that segment or that those words in that manner put together in that sentence and delivered that way, you always think back to somebody saying like, I'm dismissing your problems because a person should be able to figure it out and you're a person. Yeah. So that's the thing is like, it's not dismissing to say that a person has to do that. Yeah. But it is understanding that it is understanding that we'll figure it out on the back end. But it is understanding that you do have control over your life. Not every part, not everything that happens. You can't control everything, but you can control how it affects you. You can control how you act on a daily basis. You can control how you think if you really put your mind to it.
This is a great way to put it. Well, I wouldn't say great because I'm putting it this way, but
okay,
as good as the way that I'm gonna.
This is a great way to put it. So you guys write this down.
Not yet. As good of a way that I can put it, I guess. I don't want to say great because I mean I'm just a man, a regular guy.
I'm just a man.
'Cause I'm a man.
Song is that Tame?
Yeah. But anyways.
Tatame.
So this example, trying to put this is something that of course I'm not saying any names, but essentially, someone was a girl and turned into a boy, right, and expected their partner's dad to just accept that the way it was, and they were pretty understanding for the most part, but they weren't like fully accepting, and they got upset that person's dad wasn't fully accepting, right? Where I'm at is a lot of people. I know this is I support everything, but the reason I'm going to use this example is just it sucks because of the way the world is. But instead of people expecting the way life to go the way that you want it to, you have to put in work for whatever. If you want a better world to where that is more accepting, you do have to put in the work for that. You got to double down. It's not getting upset because people aren't.
Right.
You got to build a world around you. It's building that foundation. It's finding those like-minded people and working together and building a more positive community. It's, raising the kids or giving an environment to where people can learn about that.
Right.
It's not. It's just one of those things where you see so many people just expect these things around you. I know that was a pretty extreme example, but I mean, at any basis of life, it's just going back to also the people who are given things. We all just expect life to kind of form around what we're thinking and what we're doing, but it's just not the way that it goes.
Right.
It's just not. You can want it to be all that. You can be like, well, this is who I am, accept it, and that should probably
right.
be the way it is. It's not though.
It's not.
It's not, and there is a form of acceptance that you first have to take in order to enact.
There's many different forms of acceptance. A lot of people have different
actions.
ways that they accept things. Like some people just put that shit off, act like it didn't happen. Some people embrace that shit and it's all that's ever happened. But there's a spectrum there that kind of gets discounted in a way. Personally, that's a good kind of a good way you kind of put that is that we have expectations of people, and so theoretically when you look at things, it's all cheating really is a person not meeting the expectation you had for them. Doing something that obviously a lot of people see as disrespectful is seen as outright disloyalty and things like that. And I'm not going to defend cheating whatsoever, but literally that's all that it is you had this expectation that this person would never do you like that. That's the only reason it hurts. And if it don't hurt, then you know what's happening and you don't have that expectation. But additionally, it's crazy how we have this accumulated mindset over cheating being how dare you do this to me? It's you were just being who you were. I had this expectation that you were not that person.
Yep. It's a tough thing because I mean that's going back to the last podcast too. We're talking about the 4 agreements. The book I read. It's that one of the agreements. One of the agreements was also don't take things personally when people do.
Exactly.
It's easy to do, but it's something that was there.
That's something you literally have to agree upon with yourself that you're not gonna do. You're not gonna take things personally. It's that hard. It's that difficult.
Because it wasn't you. It was them. They made that decision. I mean, they could say it's you all day, but it's not you. I mean, they as a person made that decision.
And if they are a good enough person, they'll tell you that it's not you, but even you won't believe it. Even you will tell yourself, no, there's something I had to have done. No, there's something I don't know. It couldn't have been just that cut and dry. No, it's that cut and dry.
And even if they were that good enough, if they were as good of a person as they think they are, or that you thought they were, they're going to beat themselves up about it, and it's going to be worse for them in the long run anyways. So let that play out the way it's supposed to.
And even that, it's that is just another level of someone making decisions for themselves. But again, the pain involved in this action is only reliant upon expectations.
Yeah.
You have these expectations that because someone tells you they love you, or because someone is answering the phone when you call, that this person actually means what they say, or is ready for those type of moments. But almost nobody's ready for those type of moments. Almost nobody's ready to go through the fire. It takes a certain special person to actually give a fuck about you to be ready to let the fucking house be burning. And they're not calling 911, they're worried about where you're at. I don't give a fuck. I'm just trying to get everybody out of here. I'm the firefighter. Fuck the 911, motherfucker. Like, I got my family in here type shit. Like, fuck that. You know what I mean? Like, that's the person you want to put your trust in, the person you will put your energy towards. It's not the person saying this and saying that so that you smile and are able to sleep at night.
I think first things first.
That person comes around a lot.
No, so much. I think first things first, though, is putting your trust in yourself.
Yes.
And all those things. And that's kind of also going back to what I was saying, too. Like, of course, you want to find those people, but that starts with yourself.
Yeah.
You know, it just looking around me constantly now, it's just everyone. It's not saying, like, people are in great positions. I know a bunch of people have came from nothing, you know, especially being a server, you know, you're decent off. I'm not saying you're, like, well off, but, like, you're able to pay your bills and stuff, right? And I know people right now that take that and, like, they don't see that as, like, a great position. For me, I see that as a great position. Like, I'm able to still, like, have extra time to do stuff that I want to do.
Flexible schedule.
I'm eating. I have a roof over my head. I'm not struggling. I'm not making a lot of money to just do, like, crazy stuff. Yeah. But, like, it puts me in a position
to exist without worries.
Not even just that in itself is a blessing, but also the opportunity to work towards something I want to do. You know what I mean? Some people don't even have that. And seeing the people around me just, you know, kind of write that off, and, you know, just say, I'm in a bad position, or, like, I don't really have much, or they don't even really want to work towards anything else. That's that boot, like, picking yourself up by your bootstraps. Like, if you want to create a world that isn't shitty, people just, it's like we all want this better world, right? And we all realize this world is shit. There's a lot of shitty things, but we're not even willing to work towards ourselves or just our immediate surroundings to help anything around us immediately, or even ourselves. Every day you have to realize, what do I want? What do I care about? What are my values? What are my priorities?
Right.
And the fact of the matter is, we'd rather just not care.
The fact of the matter is that the only way to be successful whenever there's this much shit around us is one of two things. On the darker side, you can use that shit and take advantage of it and use it to your advantage to be able to do so. And a lot of companies do that, and a lot of companies are destroying the earth to try to make a profit, right?
Oh, yeah, all the time.
Now, the other side of that is the lighter side, and it's to trench through that shit and to find the solution, to find the drain, to be able to drain this pool of sludge that we have in not just this country, but around the earth on a number of different topics. To trench through that, to find that drain, to be able to pull that drain and be the martyr that holds that drain open while all the sludge drains through the floor. Yeah. That's difficult. And it's real easy to turn a profit by taking advantage of all that sludge. It's real easy. All you got to do is have a land that you can drill oil in and not care about the environment. You're terrible. Good. You know what I mean? Like, go ahead.
Not to say, it's crazy because it's just, there's so many people that aren't doing, like, that aren't focused on what I was just saying. And, like, of course, the energy has to go somewhere.
Yeah.
When you're not doing anything, right? Or that especially now, everyone feels like the need. You know, they might need to feel like they want to do something, or, you know, that they should be doing something. And especially with the internet, them doing something half the time is just bitching.
Yeah.
You know, but it's like, what do you do?
Looking for likes.
Yeah, exactly. And I want to say this. So, first off, I want to say I don't agree with the man. I don't advocate for him. I don't encourage his behavior. I'm not a fan of him. Andrew Tate, I will say, though, in this sense, this plays perfectly into what we're talking about, into the sense of that he was, of course, not a great person. And the way he did talk about women a lot of the time was not great. But he also did expose the world for the way that it is, in a sense. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like, he gave a sense of truth in a world that we didn't want to believe. Like, he's a piece of shit. But the thing is, like, when there's people like that, like, such as Andrew Tate, you're exposing a world that is there already.
Right.
He's not bringing about something new.
Mm-hmm.
You're like, which is kind of what I guess you were saying.
That's what I was trying
A
to
lot of
say.
this isn't new, yeah. He's exposing a truth in things that we have tried to cover,
Right.
or try to act like isn't there, or try to pretend as things are changing. But the thing is, if we don't realize that, it won't change.
From my perspective, it seems like PC culture doesn't want to just eradicate issues. It wants to act like they never existed.
Which is more harmful
Which
than it is.
more harmful because what is, I mean, obviously I don't even need to say it, but like whenever you fucking forget history, you're doomed to repeat it. And like straight up, whenever you're seeing a misogynist online, it's easy to not give that person any looks. It's easy to just scroll straight past it and be like, this motherfucker crazy. This dude's talking some dumb shit right now on my timeline. Easy to do that. Apparently, it's also easy to interact with that and act like you have a say in the matter. Like this person on the other side of this video is going to even read your comment.
It only boosts him.
It only boosts them. All you're doing by interacting with anybody's comments, by anybody's videos, anybody's tweets or anything is boosting their profile. You're giving them more interactions, you're giving them more looks, and if they have any type of ad revenue, then you're giving them more money. And that's neither here nor there, but straight up, if you don't want to support the guy or you think the guy is like this or that, the way to do that is to literally not interact with the guy. Like, I mean, obviously they found a new way, and that's to demonetize everything that he's ever existed in. But
that's kind of getting around to my point, is that he was out here also just saying, you know, if you gotta wake up every day, you gotta do it. If you want to be like the person that I mean, he was kind of very much a narcissistic. If you want to be like me type shit, you gotta wake up every day and you gotta get it. You gotta go out there. It's like no woman wants a shitty man. But then he was also saying, now that I'm where I'm at, I'm able to pick what kind of woman I want, and this is not the woman that I want. I want a woman that does it, which is fucked up, you know what I mean? But that's his own personal preference. You could say fuck that, you know what I mean? You don't have to listen to him.
Yeah.
I mean, he's a man that has a power and influence, just like most men that have, not most men, but a lot of men that have power and influence. They're going to say what they say.
Even
and
without the power to influence, if you just take a person, like everything they've ever said, you should take with a grain of salt.
Yeah.
Whatever sticks to the wall, sticks to the wall. But obviously, a lot of people are going to say a lot of shit that you don't agree with. So, like, let's not act like everything that everyone's ever said was powerful. Like, I'm sure there's some things Gandhi said that was kind of fucked up, and I'm sure there's some things that fucking George Washington did that was kind of fucked up. But you guys still have him on your dollar bill and give this man props and shit like that. Like, all I'm saying is like, if we want to tear down statues and act like the history didn't exist and all this shit, like we are giving a lot to act like that doesn't exist. There's so many things that we accept, like the faces on our money that we use religiously, the monarchs in our religion, the monarchs in other countries, the differences between foreign relations with our countries and other countries and other countries and other countries. Like, we're seen as this fucking weird place that really is just full of fat people and nukes. It's kind of weird, but interestingly enough, we hate ourselves more than anybody else hates us.
Yeah.
We fight with each other more than anybody else fights with each other type shit. Like, there's full-on wars right now in Ukraine and Russia. But, like, I don't even know if the death count over there has met, like, the last death count in just the United States in the last year. You know what I mean? Like, are we killing ourselves more than a whole war? Or, like...
that also goes back to...
That's what I'm saying.
If you don't respect yourself and what you're doing, you're not going to respect other people with it. You know what I'm saying? And that goes back to, like, we hate ourselves so much, that is why, like, we hate each other.
We have neighborhoods that are full-on war zones in our country, and we try to act like we're better than everyone else. When our finances are worse, our social relations are worse, our politics are probably worse. The only thing we stand on is a free market. That's not free anymore. The only thing we stand on is a free dollar. A substantial dollar. That's not substantial anymore. Like, what legs do we have left to stand on other than just a flag with colors and stars on it?
And it goes back to that where it's just, so if you're not willing to make, you know, exactly, all that shit, exactly. Yeah. The world, it's shit.
Sludge. You gotta trench through if you want to fix anything.
There's so much shit.
Not everybody's willing to trench through that.
And it's like, there's so much of that shit, and if you're expecting just, you know, the thing was with Andrew Tate is, like, they expected this guy to be some. I mean, what do you expect? I don't know what people expected.
Exactly.
I don't know what. I don't know him, so I don't know.
First of all, he's a former fighter. There's a lot of CT that's got to be involved.
Yeah. So it's like, what do you really expect from him? Expect him, and they just expected him to have the views that they did.
I mean, I see.
And so what we're saying is, if you expect the world to be how you want to, if they don't see it that way, all of a sudden you can just rid them of everything that they own.
Exactly. That's what's silly about it. Is because whenever you're talking about like Andrew Tate, I see him as the guy who took like fighting classes or learned how to like learned a black belt in a certain martial art just so he could go around and try to like be the person he wants to be. He's like, well, you won't beat my ass.
Yeah.
You won't beat my ass, so I can pretty much do whatever I want, right?
That's him, yeah.
You're not gonna beat my ass? Oh, then I guess I'm gonna say and do whatever I want.
That's him, yeah.
That's him, right?
Yeah.
That's the guy that we're talking about. So essentially, what kind of person are we talking about that's taking advice from that type of person?
And it's fucked
We're
up.
talking about silly people.
I'm not saying that that's right, because you shouldn't. I mean, fighting should be a defense thing more than it is an offensive thing. But also, I mean, he put in the work. So for him to be able to go around, you're gonna beat my ass. Are you gonna beat his ass?
That's not the point. The point is that who's taking advice from somebody that just learned how to fight so that he could go around and be an asshole, and whenever he's an asshole and is called out on his assholeness, just say, well, you won't beat my ass, so I guess it's cool, right? And obviously, if the other person isn't willing to assault you right then and there, it's gonna be, I guess you can do whatever you want.
But I mean, he even has said that it's crazy because it's almost contradicting. But he's even said, like the way that the rich live, as compared to the way that the common person lives, is completely different. Like he doesn't have rule. He realized when he hit that wealth gap, like that certain amount of money, he's like, I don't have to live how everyone else lives. And he's even said it's fucked up. But he's like, I'm able to do it because I have that, and no one's gonna beat my ass. No one's gonna beat my ass. I have money. I can do whatever I want. He even said
it's more of a martyr situation because there's other celebrities that think exactly like that, act exactly like that.
But he said because he talked about it
exactly like that, but none of them are willing to speak on it because their brand will not allow it. Their manager will throw a fit. Their social media manager will have fucking killed themselves or whatever it is. Whatever the stakes are at this level of multi-million-dollar management, like there's certain things that are involved. This is kind of what I've told you before. Is like I don't think that any major artist is running their own Twitter. I don't think it. I'm sorry. I think it's a lot easier for me to hire my best friend. Like if I was a major artist, I would hire you to be my social media manager because you get me. You know how I talk. You know my cadence. You know exactly who I am. You know how I'm thinking because I talk to you all the time. So theoretically, why wouldn't I give you a career on just handling some shit I don't want to do?
Yeah, I think a lot of them do that.
A lot of them got to. Probably not everyone. I'm talking about like on average though, when you're talking about like these accounts posting this or these accounts doing this. Like, I, for the most part, don't even think that that's that artist. I, for the most part, don't think that's that athlete. I, for the most part, don't think that that's that director. Most of the time, it's not.
Unless you're KD with your side account.
See, that's what I'm saying. You got your outliers, but like straight up, like theoretically, in that scenario, like whenever it comes to Andrew Tate, it's like. That's the type of guy is running all his accounts. That's the type of guy is running all his shit because he's that like ego, like big-headed type shit. Like nobody gets me. I'm the best.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Type
top
shit.
G.
Top G. I'm a fucking top G. And there's not a single top G that could speak for me.
And see,
I've never let another man speak for me. Actually, that's a beta move.
Yeah, that's where he fucked up though. The thing was, rewatching him, I was like, okay. You
kind of need that though.
He
you
made
need that person in your ear telling you this is not the one, Andrew.
Yeah.
Let's not post this one.
But no, I like with that. He exposed a world for what it was and showed you a world of what really is. Well, and people didn't like it so much that they took it down and demonetized everything. Where I'm at is there's so many worse people out there that are
literally
lying to your face,
murdered on the internet,
and we're like. There's people lying just straight, at least Trump, he said a lot of stupid things like, well, people look up to you. It's like, okay, but the thing is, like, so we're just hiding the fact that the world's the way it is.
Yeah. I mean,
is that what we're doing? Is that what we're going to continue to just repress all the shit?
Like, yeah.
We're just going to repress that this is all shit? No! You have to expose that shit. And he even said, he's like, he said that in his most recent interview. He's like, well, I just kind of expose things for how they are, and I just explain things for what they are and how they are for him too. It's like, if they are like that to him, that's fucked, yeah, but it's
right.
He's the case.
That's the thing.
That's the case.
The only thing he's really exposing isn't really even himself, because this is what I've told you before. It's like, that doesn't have to be who he is in real life. Obviously, I could turn a camera on and be a whole different person. Like, there's a thing called a script, and you know what I mean. Like, all it takes is a certain level of character development and script writing for you to create the worst person that's ever lived. But that doesn't mean that person actually exists. It just means that you've been shown something and you believed it because you're silly and believe things that are only specifically on the internet. Without meeting this person and confirming what you saw on the internet, you're still willing to write this person off. Not you, but I'm talking about anybody. Like, anybody willing to demonetize the person, it's like, you don't know this person. This is just content. This is just a person making a video.
And on top of that,
it could be him being a piece of shit. It could be him having a team of writers saying, what's the most fucked up shit I can say on this next episode? It could be anything, you know what I mean? But theoretically, specifically speaking on his note, you know it's him writing this shit. You know it's him saying this shit. You know it's him being like himself on that. So therefore, it is exposing like that level of society of saying like, okay, yeah, not like we've talked about it. It's like, if you're somebody that attributes anything to what he said, as far as the misogyny goes, as far as the belittlement of other people, whether they're women or not, as far as the separation of respect whenever you're talking about financial situations, like, I can't respect you because you don't have a Ferrari or whatever. It's like, you're weird, first and foremost. That's fucking strange. I'll still respect anybody. If I'm on vacation at a resort, like, I'm respecting everybody that works there like they're a human being. I'm not throwing a towel on somebody's face because I can and I have my room paid for. Like, people are fucking weird and entitled, and it makes no sense. But what I'm saying is you know that you're getting this information from that specific type of person, a piece of shit. So like, it takes that level of like understanding that anybody that's attributing to that is probably on that same trajectory, somewhere on that same path of either are a piece of shit, will be a piece of shit soon, or are dreaming of one day being a piece of shit. But like, we're talking about a certain type of person, you know what I mean? Like, that type of person was absolutely exposed with this Andrew Tate shit.
Yeah, and I don't think he should have got demonetized like that. I think he sucks, but also, you know, why are we focused more on him than the people that are like,
I personally don't think anybody should be demonetized. Like, what's the worst thing that could happen out of somebody releasing some content? I mean, it's what I'm saying is that it's not the content releaser's like not problem. Obviously problem, and maybe even fault. But you can't fault somebody for releasing a video and then somebody else seeing that video and then doing something that wasn't prompted in that video. Now, this is different than people telling people to go storm the White House and stuff like that. That was prompted and then done. Now, we're talking about shit that somebody says something like, I don't think this or I don't think that, and then someone takes that interpretation of what they said, they thought this person was meaning for when they said that, and then acts on something else. It's like, I don't know if you can fairly blame somebody that said something that wasn't prompting an action, and then someone taking that vocalization and prompting an action in their own interpretation.
Yeah, we should be focused more on as why people are taking that and viewing it as that way. Which goes back to working in your communities and building, instead of...
It also goes back to mental health and things like that.
Yeah, and instead of being entitled and be like, this should be my way, it's like, okay, why are things this way?
Right.
And I should work on myself and start to work within these communities and figure out why they're that way, and then try my best to not change it, but like,
stop dismissing things that don't make sense to you and start trying to make them make sense.
Yes, if you start working and creating the world you want to see rather than wondering why the world isn't the way you want it to be.
Be proactive, not reactive.
Like, oh, it's not the way I want. Well, you know, start creating the world that you do want. That's, I mean, it's like the world
like that is not a it's an abstract thought process in today's society.
It's basically
something
you learn.
That seems like you have to be able to get it or don't get it. It's like, no, this is just a baseline living situation that we can all attribute ourselves to, but we choose daily not to because of pride, because of religion, because of whatever the fuck you want. Mostly it's religion. People that hate gay people, it's like, why do you do that? Because it's in the Bible. It's okay. Okay, so why do you believe this book that was translated 16 times and we don't even know if it means what it says? It's like,
I'll put it in a simple term. It's, you know, like when you think in technique, right, on anything, if
Right.
you've learned it a certain way for however long, right,
Right.
and you realize that's the wrong technique, you have to completely unlearn that technique and relearn the proper one.
Right. Exactly.
So it's the world, if you're thinking the world's just going to change because you feel a certain type of way, they have to unlearn all that bullshit
Right.
they learned and relearn a whole new type of bullshit. It goes back to those agreements.
It's like
We have to agree on a whole new type of way that we're gonna do the world, and that's gonna take steps. But
it's a situation where, like, if a boxer was to try to step into MMA, like, obviously it's a different type of field, it's a different fight, it's a different situation. There's more weapons involved, there's different tactics involved, different strategies and things like that. But theoretically, you almost have to unlearn boxing to be able to start learning some other different types of striking. To be able to learn how to kickbox, you can't really be, like, worried about your 10 and 2. You have to know, like, how to use your, like, range of motion, as well as paying attention to things that are going to come from outside of your 10 and 2. Some things that are going to be like roundhouse over the top outside of your vision, but still catch you like no tomorrow. You know what I mean? Like, there's different things that are involved in different parts of life, and you almost have to untrain yourself in something else to be able to really take into effect. It's almost like like somebody going from volleyball to dance. So you had all this practice of doing these things and these formats and these things, but it's going to be a completely different body of motion over here. So you have to completely unlearn all your different workouts over there, because they're not going to apply the same over here. You have to unlearn your different trainings over there, because they're not going to apply the same over here. You have to really adjust, and to adjust, you might have to unlearn some of the things you've already learned. That's a commitment.
You think some old people are gonna want to do that?
Nobody's gonna want to do that.
Like a lot of old ass fuckers. It's like, well, this is how the world is. I'm gonna die soon. I don't give a fuck. I'm gonna live the world the way I lived it for the past 70 years. Fuck you. You can't tell me anything.
Right.
The fact of the matter is,
my property.
and the fact of the matter is, it's like, unless something crazy happens and they want to change themselves, you're not gonna change that. So you have to focus on yourself. You have to focus on your communities
How
around
could
you.
you change that?
It's tough, right?
Yeah.
And the thing is, like, and when I was gonna, something you said earlier too, it was kind of about that, like, throwing that towel in someone's face. Those people with a certain amount of status or money, they live in a bubble. They live in a bubble of what life, like, humanity is. But the thing is, they think that's how life is, but what they don't realize, they could easily get caught one day.
It's the
Just by those people who don't live the same life they do.
It's the difference between the tables that stack their plates for you and just leave all their shit all over the place.
Yeah,
and just,
I'm gonna go further. Look, so it's the instance of where, you know, you can't do, like, you can't do that. Oh yeah, tell somebody who's starving every day who doesn't fuck, they will kill you. Do you think that hey, you can't do that? That's not how it.
Now you're a witness to what I did, so I must murder you.
It's like, that's not everyone lives by the same rules.
Right.
Not everyone has the same mindset. So it's that throwing that towel in the face. Just because you've lived that for so long, you might catch the wrong person on the wrong day.
Yeah.
And just because you don't think it's gonna happen, doesn't mean that it can't and won't happen.
Exactly.
You have to realize, we all live by different rules. Even though we have, like, certain societal social agreements, we all live our own separate, like, lifestyles. And if you want things to change, you have to realize that in your head, that it's not all the way that we know. Everything's not the way that you know and that you live. There's different ways to do that. And to change things, it starts with your surroundings, 100%. Exactly. Because not everyone lives in that same surrounding that you live in. So you have to start there, and you have to expand out. Right. And you have to continue to, if you want to make change, it starts with those person-to-person connections. With the internet, it's skewed our ideas because you think the internet is what's going to change things.
Exactly.
It's not the internet that's going to change things.
No, yeah.
It's
a tool that can be used for change, but it's not going to change anything. We have to use that tool to be able to create change.
And that starts with everything we do day to day. But it's funny, we lost sight of that because we think, like, all this other stuff's going to happen, but it's like, it's those day-to-day interactions.
It's acting like tomorrow's going to come. We don't know. There's no scientific answer to when your life is going to end. Shit could be tonight. You know what I mean? But we always expect, like, we can put shit off till tomorrow. We always say, I'll do it next week, or maybe next month, maybe next year. How do we know that that's going to come? We don't. We're hoping. So why do we put our hope in things like that and not in things that we can actually fucking do? All I'm saying, that's all I got on that. But in conclusion, all I'll say is that people just need to not take those words so deliberately and think that their lives are being dismissed when they hear them, but it is going to take effort to be able to pull yourself out of the situation that you're in.
Mm-hmm.
And that effort is only going to come from you.
Exactly.
There's no governmental subsidized effort. That shit ain't happening. You gotta find that shit in you, dog. It's nobody else gonna find it for you.
And just like freedom is you
Right.
being able to express that and do what you want, that's also the same for someone who views the opposite. And you're gonna have to deal with that. And if you want to make a change and see the world change, you have to understand that for what it actually is and stop trying to repress it and push it to the side. And
Be the change you want to see.
Yeah.
Don't start talking about it like it's.
And don't start trying to force people to do
Right.
other things either.
Hell yeah, dude.
Yeah. So what are you about to do? We'll just wrap it up real quick.
Yeah, I was gonna get another beer, but I'm also wrapping it up. Yeah.
Yeah. So that would be it. I was like, yeah, get up after the fact. Thank you guys for tuning in. Another week of Fine and Dandy. It's been great. It's been fun. Remember, do things that make you happy. You're not alone out there. We're all going through things. We've all been through a lot in the past couple of years. Keep pressing on. If y'all need to reach out, please reach out. Of course, we'll always be an open ear. I love talking to people. It's not a problem at all. You guys stay safe out there. Catch you soon. Fine and Dandy. Thank you, Doofles. Anything in closing messages for you, Josh? That you'd
I'm
like
gonna
to-
read you guys my screensaver on my laptop real quick. It's a series of messages here. It's think positively, network well, exercise daily, eat healthy, work hard, stay strong, build faith, worry less, read more, be happy, volunteer freely, relax often, love always, and live forever.
Let's go! All right.
Let's fucking go.
Go. Later, guys.
Later, guys.